You know, Donkey Kong Bananza is made by the Super Mario Odyssey team. That has been said over and over and over again. And I think it's totally suitable to call this game in many ways a spiritual successor to the thing that take the helm for Super Mario Odyssey and the Switch 2. But I actually think it's more in line with traditional Zelda design. Not so much Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I'm talking like dungeons and all that jazz. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But there is one thing that's kind of holding me back from, you know, thinking it's amazing. You know, it's kind of difficult for me to address because Pauline needs to just like stop talking. She needs to relax.
Yeah! Cool! Awesome! There's a banana!
Now, I'm a huge Donkey Kong fan, like big old Donkey Kong fan. And it probably has something to do with the fact that gorillas are my favorite animals. Did you know they're vegetarians? Did you also know they can tear limbs off of people? So, considering the strength of a gorilla, it's no wonder that they would take this cool strength-like element and make it a part of the game. You could punch through anything, and of course that has been the selling point for this game. And for Donkey Kong, this game feels special. It feels like he's being treated in the exact same sort of light as something like Zelda and Mario. There was the excellent Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, but we haven't really seen Donkey Kong get a full-fledged 3D game since DK64. And that was 26 years ago. And when you think of it that way, this is kind of weird because after all, he is like one of the OGs. Like one of the, you know, Mario, get out of here. Donkey Kong was first. Jumpman, you weren't even cool enough to have a name. You were just Jumpman. Donkey Kong got Donkey Kong. Jumpman. Pff. As Donkey Kong, obviously, that guy's whole MO, the only thing he cares about is bananas. That's it. He's a gorilla, and he's a vegetarian. He needs all the potassium he can get. It's only natural that you can take the Mario Odyssey or even like the more traditional 3D Mario sort of design, and instead of like moons or stars, in this case, it's bananas. You got a lot of bananas to collect. That is what Donkey Kong's doing. But the thing that propels him through this adventure is when a big corporate group of gorilla monkey looking chimp dudes smash a giant like ball into this mining facility that Donkey Kong's working in and shoves it into the center of the earth. I don't try to make sense of this stuff. I'm not like a lore junkie. I'm not about to like say that like Void Kong, who's the bad guy, is like the great ancestor to Cranky Kong or Grumpy Kong when Grumpy Kong like went off and had like a fling with Sassy Kong. And everybody knows about Sassy Kong. If you're a true Donkey Kong fan like me, you know about Sassy Kong. But basically that's the thing that kicks us off. A big mysterious corporation pushes your mysterious sort of mining operation underground, and in doing so, all the bananas are spread across the crests of the earth. And it's like, obviously, like, DK is gonna be like mad, and he's gonna want his bananas back. But in the process, you meet a weird rock, and I just gotta say, I love that rock. When that rock showed up, it was just like this weird, like it was great. Turns out that rock is a girl. A little girl. A little girl with the voice of a 30-year-old, it seems. More on that in a second. The gap that Donkey Kong Bananza fills so well is that it has the propulsion, the momentum of Mario platforming. Like, you can tell that all of that is full force, and so much of it is pushed by your own creativity and your experimentation with playing the game. Of course, you can go through the game just jumping. You can go through the game with punching stuff and like grabbing stuff. But then there are these mechanics and things that layer on top of each other. And halfway through the game, I was discovering combinations of movements that I had not even known could be stringed together, quite similarly to how Mario used Cappy in Super Mario Odyssey, where you can throw Cappy and then get an extra jump, and people were doing awesome, cool stuff with that. But the thing is, the design of it feels less like a Mario game and more like a traditional Zelda game. And they do this by the Bananzas. So the Bananzas, how I see them, are kind of like dungeon items. In traditional Zelda design, you would go through a dungeon, you would eventually get an item, and then suddenly the entire dungeon and the design of that dungeon is informed by the item you get. It's the same thing in Donkey Kong Bananza, but in this case, it is the Bananza form. And that is like the swole animals that Donkey Kong turns into. Like he turns into like, you know, big silverback guy, which by the way, big fan. But then he turns into a zebra, and man, does that zebra's packing. I'm not saying anything else. From that moment on, you can kind of tell how the world will function based on the abilities of that Bananza. So in the case of the silverback, he's extra strong, so he can punch through surfaces that Donkey Kong cannot. The zebra is so light on his feet that he can run across ice while it crumbles behind him and you won't fall through it. But in so many cases, I still feel as though Donkey Kong is borrowing its identity in ways. As I was playing this game as a long and hard Donkey Kong fan, I felt as though the identity, Donkey Kong's identity as a whole, the world, its enemies, even the characters, felt absent in this. The only thing being Donkey Kong himself. And of course, the occasional cameo. But I still felt as though I was seeing a game that was picking at pieces of Zelda and Mario in order to create this thing. It's a fresh start. Maybe a fresh start on borrowed ideas, but its key identifying characteristic, being able to smash through anything, is enough to put it in a league of its own. And that should be enough. And that brings us to Pauline. The one thing I don't like about this game.
Yeah!
Look, I don't know how else to say this. I'm a 34-year-old man with his hair turning white. Maybe I'm not the target demographic. But something happened to me playing this game which has never happened to me playing another Nintendo game. And that was, I was wincing.
And this bed is so comfy. After we get some shut-eye, we're gonna wake up full of energy.
Nintendo has a way of creating games that is not just targeted towards children, it's targeted towards all demographics, and that is probably best displayed in the skill ceiling of these games. There is so much creative and lateral thinking that it can be done where children can solve problems just as much as adults can solve problems. But Pauline enters scene and is the first time where I'm playing a Nintendo game where something feels so overtly geared towards a demographic that I am having a hard time grappling with the game that I love playing, but a game that I hate listening to, because Pauline is always like,
A banana! A banana? Oh, a banana! Is that a banana? Here's a banana!
Banana.
I know.
It's a banana.
Mm-hmm. Are you happy?
I was hungry.
You can go now.
Okay.
Anyways, now imagine hearing that 999 times.
A banana!
I've been playing this game for almost 25 hours, and I've collected about 500 bananas, and I've had to hear that just about 500 times. Another thing that Pauline does is, well, obviously she sings, but like every time you open like a portal or a shrine, she does this like American Idol kind of warm up. Like, I'm not gonna do it. Can't do it, I'm not gonna do it. How do you do it? Am I being a grumpy old man? Am I missing something?
Yes.
Am I being a grumpy old man?
You're being curt.
I don't have a problem with children. I have a problem with teenagers in most cases. What I have a problem with is an adult woman sounding like a child, portraying a child who is just like, oh, I'm scared. I should be scared.
Oh, the background was cut out. We're good. Do that again.
It's because Pauline.
Yeah, she ran away.
Yeah, I was like,
She did not
see ya. Oh, I'm so scared. I should be scared, but I feel safe with you, Donkey Kong.
I feel safe with you!
Donkey Kong doesn't care about you. He cares about bananas. There's like a scene where like Void Kong is like, I'm gonna destroy the world and take you with me, Pauline. And Pauline's on Donkey Kong's back being like, we're coming after you, buddy, old pal. All the meanwhile, Donkey Kong has literal bananas in his eyes. He does not care about Pauline's needs. He just needs her because otherwise how else is he gonna, bust up Voidco? Because her singing destroys Voidco things, and that's how he gets his bananas. If there's any emotional, tangible thing that you think is between him and Pauline, it's not. It's like he knows, like, if I don't have Pauline, I don't have my bananas. I gotta get Pauline so I can get my bananas. I'm being a grumpy old man. I know I'm being a grumpy old man. It's just weird for me because I do love this game. I love playing this game, but it's one of the first times I just find myself, wanting to turn the audio down, which, by the way, there's no audio controls. You literally can't, there's like nothing. You can't change the music. There are no sliders. You can't turn the music down. You can't turn the sound effects down. You can't turn Donkey Kong down or even Pauline. You can change the language in Pauline speaks. So I changed it to Italian, which for some reason made it a little bit easier to stomach.
Ci voleva proprio
Except for, she still says,
una banana.
and it's cool that you can change the languages, but I think there should be a switch that just changes Pauline's voice, and it should just be the Ben Starr switch. Since he's in every single game. So it's like, just hit the switch. Hey, Ben Starr, you're Pauline now.
Is that a banana? Hey, a banana. This should be scary, but I feel safe with you. I love you, Donkey Kong. I love you so much.
In short, this game rules. It's the perfect in between for Donkey Kong games and Zelda design, and I do think it is trudging its own sort of path forward. Where they take Donkey Kong smashing stuff into another game, I don't know. But Nintendo, you should share all your technology with somebody, and then they can make another Rampage game with this exact same tech, and that would be so dope. That would be so cool. To get a Rampage game where you can just destroy the world. In fact, I want a Rampage game where instead of going to the core to get your bananas like in Donkey Kong, you should be punching to the core of the earth to destroy the planet. Sing your heart out, Pauline. All right, well, I think that's it. I'm gonna go turn into my Bananza form and get out of here. Pauline, take it away.